Hello, my name is Dana Rowitz, and I am in TDM 225, your hybrid course. I realized I did not know anything about travel and tourism before entering this course. First semester, I was an education major, and I decided to change to tourism development management with a focus in resort and hotel leadership, and then I'm doing the certificate program for event planning. I decided to do that this semester. This course was the first course I took about travel and tourism and in the major in general, and honestly, I realized I knew nothing about it. I viewed travel and tourism as the same thing, traveling new places, touring around, and having those experiences, and I realized that when you say that you love traveling, it is different from when you say you love tourism. Tourism does have the fun parts like 3S tourism, adventure tourism, culinary tourism, etc. But it also comes with the downside, which is sex tourism, dark tourism, prostitution, sex trafficking, drugs, all that different type of stuff. And this class really opened that window for me. Viewing tourism as an ism really opens my horizon and opened my mind to a lot. I learned that this class wasn't about selling that amazing trip to the Bahamas, but more digging down into the nitty-gritty, dirty part of tourism that people don't like to talk about. Tourism is hard to measure, and that's why it's hard to get data and information on the concept. This is because of the data lag and the conflict of interest. The people who are reporting the information about travel are normally the ones selling it. So that's why it's hard to even trust where that data is coming from, because that person wants you to go on that vacation because that's their paycheck. A great reliable source to look on is the United Nations World Tourism Organization. They put out reports and about like the arrivals, the tourism receipts, etc. This is preferred because, again, this report is coming from the global organization, not the travel agent sitting in their room trying to get people to buy the trip to the Bahamas or to Mexico or to China or to wherever. These people, the organization, the people who work for them are reporting the data and the facts, not trying to sell you on a vacation. The ology from Module 4 that I think will stick with me for a very long time is anthropology. That one was super interesting because that's not something that I've found myself really focusing and learning about during school, which is kind of crazy because it is the relation from us to our ancestors kind of as we go through time, whether that be cultural, archaeological, I'm saying that wrong, but I've made it like 6 times and I can't pronounce it right, so I'm sorry, and biological. I think this is super important because as we go through time, how we act compared to our ancestors is super important. Also, all of the ologies are super important when studying tourism because they all play a different part. Sociology plays a huge role because it focuses on our social life, social change, social consequences, etc. And that plays such a ginormous role in tourism. Psychology is also very important because it is the study of how we interact with other organisms, other people, other places, etc. All 3 of these ologies play a ginormous role in tourism, and without them, we wouldn't be able to make growth. One of my favorite modules was Module 8. This is because I've spent the past 3 years working at a resort in Litchfield Park, Arizona. It's called the Wigwam, as a server at the pool and a pool attendant when I first started working. And service in tourism, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I absolutely love my job, and that's kind of crazy to say when you're only 19 years old, is that you love your high school job, but I do. I'm obsessed with it. It's one of my favorite places to go. I work all the time over the summer. I work as much as I can, and it's because service is I just love it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I just love the hospitality aspect of it. I love the environment. I love literally everything about my job. So when we talked about the service in tourism, I think it really hit home to me about the rude customer. I've had so many people like yell at me, scream at me, throw things in my face for things that were like totally out of my control. One thing that I think tourism practitioners and anyone that works in the service industry needs to learn more about is diversity. I know that's super broad, but when you're working at pretty much anywhere where people are traveling from so many different places to stay there, eat there, shop there, etc., you need to know their background, where they're coming from, their religions, their focuses, because that's super important when it comes to interacting with a customer. There are definitely a few things that I am going to focus on when I travel that's different than what I've been doing in the past. Single-use plastic water bottles are definitely one of the things I use like candy on when I travel, just because they're super convenient, super easy, and everyone needs to drink water. I am definitely going to bring a reusable water bottle and remember everywhere I go, because I do use my Hydro Flask when I am at home and I don't normally use single-use plastic bottles, so that's something you just don't think about when you travel. Another thing is, I feel like I already do this, but just really being aware of people's culture and their different backgrounds, just because those places that you're traveling to are so different than the United States that it's really important to make sure you're educated before visiting. Tourism intersects perfectly with my future major. I am a TDM major. I am doing a focus on resort and hotel leadership, and I am doing the certificate program for event planning. So this class completely intersects for the rest of my life, and I'm very thankful and grateful that I got to take it. When traveling with my friends, especially, I'm going to influence them to educate themselves on where we're going and make sure to bring that reusable water bottle and to really pack appropriately. When traveling with my family, I feel like they don't have much of a problem with that, especially because my grandparents travel 9 months out of the year to different countries, different states, just literally everywhere. They are very educated travelers, they are very sustainable, and they do care about the places they're going very much. I think the biggest struggle is to educate people who aren't educated about the different effects and things that come with travel. In conclusion, as the traveler, I am going to focus on being the best traveler that I can be. As the worker, I hope that I stay in this major. I love it so much so far, and I think I can do great things with it. As the influencer, I really want to make sure that my friends, my family, and anyone I surround myself with understands the importance and luxury of being able to travel and going new places and to take care of where they're going. Thank you so much for such an amazing semester. This really was such a great start to a new chapter in my life for my new major, and I'm very thankful for everything you did for me and our class this whole semester. I look forward to taking the Intro to Resort and Hotel Management next semester with you, and yeah, see you next year. Thanks.